Raising money is hard, but what comes after is even harder. Most CEOs think getting the funding is the big win. But once that money hits your account, the expectations from investors start stacking up fast. And if you're not ready for them, things can fall apart just as quickly as they came together. Once you've secured institutional investors, you're not just managing your company anymore, you're managing expectations. And those expectations aren't always obvious. Even if you have control over the board in terms of voting power, investors still carry a massive amount of influence over your company's future. And the moment you take their money, you stepped into a new league. The first thing they expect is high growth. That's often rapid growth without an immediate focus on profitability, especially in the early stages. But if your company has already been around for a while and raised significant funding, the narrative shifts. Now they're going to ask for a clear path to profitability. And that means they'll want you to grow revenue quickly while simultaneously managing expenses. Essentially, how fast can you break even? But here's the thing. Investors have their own agendas. As much as we'd all love for CEOs and investors to be perfectly aligned, they rarely are. Investors have partners, and those partners have expectations too. When investors invest in your company, they now have to report back to their team on your performance. That creates pressure, not just on you, but on them. And that pressure doesn't always match your original vision. Even if you've presented a detailed growth plan during your fundraising round, don't be surprised if those expectations shift or if they interpret them differently than you intended. Suddenly, they're asking for milestones you didn't agree to or growth curves that don't match what's realistic for your team. To make things even more complex, each investor on your board may have slightly different expectations. Some may care more about margins. Others are focused on top-line growth. One might be pushing for another funding round. Another might be focused on an exit. If you're not having ongoing, direct conversations with them, you're essentially flying blind. This is where most CEOs make the mistake. They assume everyone's aligned. They assume their board understands the vision and that everyone's reading from the same page. But the reality is investors need to feel heard. They want transparency. They want updates. They want to see that you're not just building a great company, but that you're actively managing the relationship with them. And if you're unsure how to navigate these conversations, or you're finding it hard to balance growth expectations with investor pressure, that's exactly the kind of challenge I help CEOs with. You can click the link in the description to schedule a complimentary CEO coaching call, and I'll reach out to see if we're a good fit to work together. Your success isn't just about hitting KPIs. It's about understanding what each investor expects and managing that. The more you know what they're looking for, the better you can deliver it or negotiate to reshape it. So start building those relationships, get to know your board members, ask the right questions, and clarify what success means to them. Because when the next big decision comes around, whether it's another round of funding, an acquisition offer, or a downturn, you're going to need their belief, their support, and their capital. And the CEOs who earn that are the ones who manage expectations just as well as they manage growth. Thank you.